Hello, hello, hello. It is Felix.
Federico, Camargo, Balaguera.
And this is episode 2 of Evolve Humanity. Now, Federico, what is this episode about and what is its name?
All right. This episode is going to be called Off to the Races. This episode, we're going to be delving deep in what does it actually take to start moving forward past an idea, actually establishing something of meaning, using the resources available to you, and actually pulling in and doing the work necessary to establish an actual organization. So, we're going to be talking about a little of our personal experience with creating ALAREX, our current achievements that we've made, hurdles that we've had to surpass, and just leveraging what we have available to us and moving forward with it. So, Joel, something I want to start with is when you had the idea, what prevented it from just being an idea? What were the steps that you took to first make this a legitimate organization?
The first step that I took in terms of making ALAREX was doing my research first. That's the first thing I did was did my research. Mm-hmm. So, I read hundreds of books, hundreds of different publications just to make sure I wasn't crazy. And I actually, kind of make sure I knew what I was doing. Because, a lot of the things that we do and will do, they literally impact people's lives. So first thing you got to do is really do your research, understand, for us, had to understand the market, had to understand, how to build a drone. You had to understand, where drones are even, located in terms of how they're used and in terms of how humanity uses them. And then most importantly, you have to understand how to break them, right? I spent a lot of years breaking and building drones, and not just drones in general, but like in general, robots. I was building and breaking robots along with a couple other systems, and really, do your research and build up your skills. That's the first thing I did. And then the second thing I did was realize that, I needed a team. Actually, the second thing I did was I, ended up building some things by myself. Again, understanding how they work. And then I realized, oh, shoot, I'm in college. I'm a researcher and I'm running a company. I need help. So the second thing is definitely get a team so you don't kill yourself.
That's a good option to take.
Yeah.
You don't want to leave it all to one person, but with anything in meeting, of course, the internet's free. Libraries are free. We live in a day and age where information is overflowing to the brim, especially with the incorporation of AI to be able to better filter this information. There's no limitation. There's no reason no one can prevent you from doing what you want to do. It could be something as simple as a new version of a candy, or it could be something as crazy as a new way to structure a neural network for hospital organization. Any idea you have the resources to delve deep, research it, and actually see if there's an applicable market for it. Here in Evolving Humanity, we're trying to push for us to actually use the resources available to us to create something of meaning that will help the world, to be able to inspire you.
We ain't trying nothing, man. We doing it.
That's a good way to phrase it. We doing that work.
We doing it. We like Yoda, bro. You know what Yoda said, man?
Yeah, man. Do or do not. There is no try.
There is no try, man.
Wise man and beyond his years.
Bro,
and he was old as hell, man. I ain't gonna lie.
He was old, man.
But for real, if you really see something of value, use the resources to be able to better structure it. And delving in a little bit on what you said, be able to get the people around you. So there's only one person in your life, which is you. And there's only so much you can actually do to get things moving. But you have to be the first one to start it. And it's a snowball effect. Once you have some work done, have some proof, then people will notice that work. People will value that work. And more will be attracted to it. Because, for a little example, something I want to both share with you and share with everyone here too is, me personally, I've always wanted a desire to do more work. Get something of structure actually built. But personal hindrances prevented that. Laziness, inefficiency, etc. Everything that every normal human being does. So you have to break past that. And one of the best things to do is find people that are doing better than you. People that have actually started the work. So you can go and model off what they're doing and be able to become the person you need to be able to keep up with them. And that is fundamental to be able to establish anything worth of value. So delving into a little people of the organization, how should you be able to find these people? So let's talk a little bit about that. So when we were making ALAREX, so especially you at the initial beginning, how are you able to get people to even think of this idea being something of value? Like even the professors, even someone's like, nah, this kid's just talking crazy. He ain't even worth my time. Like, oh, damn. It's actually something could be there. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. A little bit about that.
So, in anything, the first person you have to convince really is yourself. So, you know, I had to convince myself that, you know, I wasn't crazy. And that came down from doing the research, building, et cetera, et cetera. Once I did that, then I was able to figure out, okay, how to actually sell to people, right? And that's kind of what you realize as when you build anything is you kind of have to start selling to people, not necessarily convincing them or, you know, trying to, do something deceitful, but selling your vision, like actually portraying your vision as something that's of value. That comes down to understanding actually what the vision is and selling yourself on that vision. And so once I sold myself on the vision, you know, for what I was doing and what I wanted to do and what I will do, I found the person that would help me most, right? And that happened to be somebody that was older than me and more experienced. So I went to a research lab and I was like, listen, I got this idea, help me. And, that professor, he helped me out in terms of helping me to figure out how to actually go about designing the system. And then on my own, I went ahead and designed the system. So that's the first thing I did is just figure out how to sell it to myself and then finding the right person who knew about those systems. So he knew I wasn't going to be BSing him. Because if I went to somebody who didn't know anything about drones, the likelihood of them helping me was a lot lower. But if they know something about drones, one, they can see, like there's value in that vision. And then two, they can say whether or not this guy's BSing me, right? And that's very important, the BSing part. Because it's important for you and for them as well. Because if you're BSing, an expert, then you're probably doing something wrong. But then again, maybe you're not, just because sometimes experts aren't really experts. But that's a whole different tangent. But that's...
We don't got time like that. For locked in.
Yeah, we don't got time for that. But yeah, and then going on to kind of social media, kind of showing what you do. That's kind of how I brought on, the rest of the team. You guys seen what I was doing through social media. If you guys, most likely, if you guys didn't see me on social media, we probably wouldn't have this team. So definitely documenting what you do is very important. And that's kind of how that falls in. And then, kind of selling the vision in them as well. Not necessarily in terms of what you're making, but, what value what you are making will bring to, people around them. In the world around them. And finding some way to also give back to them in a way, like with older people or experts, they kind of want legacy. With people who are peers, they got to give them glory, right? Or something that is worthwhile that they otherwise wouldn't get at optimizing a screw at like Lockheed or something.
Or just getting some coffee for a random exec. Yeah. It's using the modern day tools to be able to push ourselves and get people that actually see a purpose behind what we're doing is fundamental. Like using social media to promote ALAREX as itself. Jarrell showing his work done in social media through Instagram, showing like staying up till 4 a.m. working on a design project when he should be sleeping, but like using what we can do,
Hey man, you gotta lock in, bro.
Nah, you're not wrong. Not wrong.
I brought my laptop here. We about to lock in.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You gotta get work done.
Yeah, we about to lock in, bro.
It's gonna be a long weekend, bro.
We're gonna go straight to your room and lock in.
Yeah. Summertime's gonna even be better, bro. All the summertime.
Yeah, we're gonna be living together. Oh yeah, bro. You ain't going to sleep for a month.
I'm already prepping, bro. I'm getting ready for it.
You getting ready?
Yeah.
Yes,
but you can feel that. You can feel the people that you want to be around you are those that see what you're doing and be like, yo, this dude's crazy. I rock with that. We need that. But look into yourself. If you have an idea, look around you. What are the people saying about that idea? First, you obviously, as you said, research the idea, do your own work. Does it seem any purpose of value? But once that work is done and you see the true value, are the people closest to you saying, nah, it's just a fantasy? You're never going to get there. Don't even bother with it. If they're saying that, you ain't in the wrong place. Move. Get out. Go to a place that can say like, okay, we could work this. It could be a university. It could be a business development sector. It could be a library. It could be a high school. It could be anywhere you go. Just go outside of someone's house and start knocking on doors. If that's what it takes, you can do it. Because people are limited to thinking only the conventional routes will actually produce results. Because although, yes, we did go to university, we are currently students, and we're working towards developing this technology on traditional bases like university, it doesn't matter. You could be working on this out of your garage. You could be a 50-year-old just getting out of work that with somebody said like, okay, this can happen. So you start working on it. There's no conventional way of doing this. There's just a matter of doing it. So have an idea, research that idea, see if there's any value of it. Find peers that see that there's potential for what you're doing and then actually get to work. Don't think like, oh, I have something going on, I can't really do it. A degree of sacrifice is always needed. Like we talked about this in the last episode. You have to be willing to sacrifice everyday pleasantries to actually get things done. And it's not easy. There's no matter of saying that this is gonna be easy. Just like, you know what? I've been sleeping in 10 hours a day for the past 3 years. I've been watching TV 8 hours a day. You know what? I'm gonna change just like that and I'm gonna get to work. It don't happen like that. But just saying today's the day work gets done. And now it's letting you slide for just easy work or just being like, okay, I got 1 page of research done today. No, it's setting definitive deadlines, getting the work done, and getting people that'll hold you accountable. Because I noticed it within myself. I let things slide. I said like, oh, I could just let this one day pass. Oh, I got some schoolwork to do. No, you got to hold people accountable. Even to yourself, even to other people, even if it's uncomfortable, even if you have to have tough conversations, things have to get done. Because the world doesn't wait for you. And as you can notice within the moving of technology around the day, AI established itself 2 years ago, already mainstream. Software was only fully instigated in like full-on market development just 30, 40 years ago, which is nothing. The technological revolutions with circuitry was just about 100 years, if not less than that was fully implemented throughout all industries. So you can see the rapid development just keeps on moving up exponentially. So you have to hold yourself accountable because time does not wait. You have to move. So, want to expand a little bit on that?
I'd say you kind of have to have 2 people in your mind. You have to have the person that does stuff, and you have to have kind of like a dictator in your mind. And that dictator, you know, he tells you, he or she, I don't know, he tells you what you have to do, and you have to do it, you know. You have to be your own king in a way, or your own queen, whoever the hell you are. Whoever's watching this. We don't discriminate.
We're talking about geniuses, that's all.
Yeah, but you know, when it comes down to doing the work, getting the work done, you just have to you have to force yourself to do it. And sometimes, bro, like, you're not gonna want to do it. like there's times where I wake up, bro, and I'm like, what is wrong with me? I could just like write my, do my engineering assignments, call it a day, and be done early too. But I gotta do my engineering assignments. I have to run the company. I have to make sure that I'm managing my team well, figuring out how to make sure that they're growing in the way that they need to be growing. Have to make sure I'm figuring out how to make sure I'm growing as an individual. Have to plan to go to these events, have to design, technologies that aren't even fully developed yet. And all of that is like packed into one day. And so every day, I wake up cooked. And it's just, I have to force myself to do it. And one of the things that kind of helped me do the work actually was realizing that it's gonna suck. We talked about it last episode, about, passion, but passion in Greek means to suffer. And so if you, want to do something that you're passionate about, you have to do something, you're gonna suffer, man. And, it sucks. It freaking sucks. But you have to, I'm a Christian. And so one of the things that keeps me going is understanding that Jesus promised us peace. Peace knowing that eventually, even though that I am going through the suffering, somebody's going to benefit. I'm going to benefit. The people around me are going to benefit. And that's really all that matters. And then lastly, really, when it comes down to, doing the work, is you have to understand that it's bigger than you. It's not just, you're not doing this for you. You don't wake up just to do it for you. You're doing it for the people that believe in you. You're doing it for the people that don't believe in you. You're doing it for the people who, were in the same position as you. You're doing it for the people that, really need to see someone like you that they haven't seen before. Like for me, I didn't grow up in the best of environments. My parents grew up in a far worse environment. And just noticing how, people grow up, they don't have role models, And that's one of the things that keeps me going, is understanding that it's far bigger than me. People seeing, like, when I watch Black Panther, bro, oh my gosh, bro, when I watched Black Panther, bro, when I watched Black Panther, I was like, oh, bro, that's the vision.
Getting a Black Panther suit.
That's the vision. I'm gonna make my own Black Panther suit. But just being the example that people can see is very important. And it's bigger than you. Whatever you do, whether it be not doing anything, or maybe it means conquering the universe like Moa. If that's what you're doing, just remember that it echoes into eternity, and everything that you do matters. Inaction is a form of action, and yeah. And lastly, one more thing. One more thing.
What you bouncing?
One more thing. Is whenever you decide to do the work, whatever action you take, you're kind of deciding really who you want to be. You're deciding what version of yourself you want to kill, what version of yourself you want to live. And so, if you choose to go the route of version 1.0, then you're gonna get 1.0 results. However, if you do the things that 2.0 would do, you're gonna get 2.0 results. And every decision you make, if you make a 1.0 decision in that time frame, in that specific incident, you decided to kill version 2.0, right? And so, version 2.0 is where you want to be, but you just killed them by doing 1.0 actions. And same thing, vice versa. So, yeah.
Felt that.
Right.
Because, like, there's only so much you can really do. Just motivation isn't going to get you anywhere. Just saying things isn't going to get you anywhere. It's action that actually defines who you are. Like, one of the things that I was thinking to myself that I thought was really beautiful is we all have a chance to write the passage of the story that defines humanity. Whatever actions you take... Oh, damn. Flu season, people. Watch out.
Bro, I'm not even sick, bro.
I mean, it is cold, so I get you. There's stuff out here, but... Like, yeah. You want to write your story, and, like... If you want to just go through life, and that's it, go through life. This ain't for you. Not everyone's born for it. It's okay. Keep moving. But if you're here listening to us, it's because you want to hear this. You want to become someone that redefines humanity. So, it comes with sacrifice. And if you've never sacrificed before in your life, it's a new experience. You're going to have to get used to it. There's nothing within life that is defined just by saying constant. Like Albert Einstein said, redoing and retrying something over and over again, expecting different results, is a definition of insanity. And you do not want to just be insane thinking that you can change the world by sleeping for 9 hours, eating bad food, because I can't say the bad word, and just trying but not really doing anything. You have to make the work done. It's as simple as that. And we want to see that progress. And we want to keep on exploring what we have and what we have to offer, and talking more of the things that we've learned throughout this process. One of the few things I do want to mention before we wrap up is a very unique experience that we've had the pleasure of attending, because, of course, Jarrell applied for us, we were accepted, and we had the chance to talk with world-renowned people, with leaders of industry, with the military personnel. We very much wanted to talk about this topic before we wrap up, because it's a little taste of the success that we have been able to put in, of the sacrifice that's been done, but actual returns on what we've done that it's come a lot faster. We didn't expect it, but taking the time to recognize these feats is important. So, passing over to Drew, I want to talk about a little bit more about Emerges America and the astonishing experience that it was for us.
Emerge America.
Yeah.
Emerge, not emergers. Emerge Americas. Yeah, Emerge Americas is freaking amazing, man.
Miami's expensive though.
Miami is expensive. This guy spent like $63 on pizza.
That pizza too wasn't even good.
It was cold too.
To be fair, it took me like 30 minutes to walk and get it, but like, yeah.
Bro, oh my gosh, like that was not worth the 60. But going back to Emerge was an amazing event, produced by amazing people. There was opportunities there that we didn't even know was present to us, and it helped us to understand not only what was hindering us from being as successful as we need to be, but also showing us a different level of being, seeing how other people, other world-renowned people operate, kind of helps you set a new standard for yourself. When we were just by ourselves, it's like, this is our standard, this is all we know. But then once you kind of meet other people who are at this level, then you understand, okay, they are here, I need to be here if I want to get as far as I need to go. And that's very important, having some type of baseline to base your stuff off of, and just understanding why you're not at that baseline. And that's what Emerge was for us, understanding what the baseline was, understanding what the standard was, how to actually push past the standard, and what was stopping us from getting past that standard. And that's really all Emerge was about, really. And then of course showcasing who we were as a young company. I'm pretty sure we're the youngest company there. We weren't
the second youngest.
The second youngest. Okay.
Yeah, some 17-year-olds took the spotlight.
Second youngest, 17-year-old.
Yeah.
No, I mean like in terms of starting the company.
Oh yeah, we were probably.
Yeah. We're the youngest starting the company. Like in terms of company age, we're the youngest. We were the youngest company there. Dang, there was a 17-year-old there.
There was a 17-year-old there.
I mean,
more power to him.
More power to him. See, you're not doing enough.
Oh my God.
You're not doing enough. You're not doing enough. Shoot. I mean, yeah. I got an excuse. I started researching this at 16.
Yeah.
So, hey. Oh, and and I had my own business when I was like 17 as well, doing website creation.
Tight.
Facts, bro. It went under though. But that's besides the thing.
Experience. That's what it counts.
Experience.
Yeah.
Experience. Yeah. Find that baseline. Look to get around people who are really, really freaking good, and freaking push past them, man. You owe it to them to push past them too. That's the good thing. That's the important thing. You owe it to people who are at a higher level than you now to push past that level eventually. I feel like you owe it to people like that,
Yeah. Good words to remember, good words to live by. So that's going to wrap up this episode. It took a minute to get this next one out, but we're going to work on being more consistent, getting this word out to you. You guys want to hear us, see more what we're about.
We got to plan a content plan right now.
Yeah. It's going to be tonight. You're going to be hearing us from very, very soon. So wrapping up, this is Evolving Humanity. Hope to be hearing us soon. And out.
Let's go work.
Peace.
Oh my God, bro.
We got stuff to do.